My name is Sybril Atemo. This is Founders Friday. I'm a designer by profession, still a design student actually. I run an online magazine called Vangarde Afrika, and our mission is to be informing, inspiring, and empowering creatives like yours, because I've stalked you guys. But we changed it earlier this year to creativity and non-stop excellence, because I realized what I want to do the most is to push people, artists, to bring out the best in them as far as creative input goes. Like before you go out there to shoot a music video, I want you to actually take the time and look at what you're investing in this project artistically. I've always been an artistic kid growing up. So how I got this idea was, first of all, as a kid, I used to have, I think everyone had a scrapbook, I assume, growing up. So I'd buy True Love. I couldn't afford, so I'd take my parents' True Love magazines and I'd cut out my favorite layouts in terms of design. I didn't even know that was graphics at the time. And I'd stick them in my scrapbook. Then when I got to uni, that's when I was able to give it a name like, oh my God, this is what they call graphics design. Funny thing is, when I applied for my university, I'd gone to do interior design, which I thought was interior decor. Until I got there, nikapata it's other things. So I decided, let me just do graphics, because this is what I've been wanting to do. I tried applying for internships in different magazines in the country, but for some reason I was always, they never used to reply, or they wouldn't just take me. And finally, when I got an internship, it was at a place called Photo Magic Studio, a Pink Foot Consult. And my first project was to do a magazine. So I was like, oh my God, God actually sent me here. When I did that, I was able to know that this is not even a dream anymore. It's something that I can actually do. I did my first dummy issue, and I sent it to a friend of mine, and he was sold kabisa. So I shared it with a few friends of mine, and they were able to see the product. I feel like people buy into your dream faster when they can see an actual product. And that's how it started. Like, I replaced the fake text with real stuff. I sent out emails to get my first, the people to feature in my magazine, and it just happened. May 2017, our first issue went live. Glory to God. I didn't need capital to start because I'm a designer, so the first issue I designed it myself, which also means everything to me because it's a labor of love, right? But in terms of promoting the work on social media and things like that, I was doing other projects for people. I'm a web designer, I'm a graphics designer. I do digital marketing for different companies. So that's the capital that I used. I didn't have to take a loan or borrow or anything like that. And then the partners that joined me later on after the first issue are people who joined because they bought into my vision, so they didn't really need monetary compensation immediately. Our mission in regards to the magazine was to inform, inspire, and empower creatives. I wanted to inform through the articles, inspire through stories of other creatives who started from the bottom, especially creopreneurs, like I like to call them, and empower them, because when you're exposed to knowledge, when you have the advantage of getting an education, you know so much more than everyone else. My most valuable skill is, I'd say I'm very meticulous. I'm a perfectionist. And I can also play bad cop. I'm not scared of calling people out on their BS. I don't play games. Which is a good thing, because that way, if you find people around me, it's because they really want to be there. I don't know how to have fun when I'm at work. Chasing a kazi. Plus, I'm a perfectionist. If you're going to be in my business, you'll have to give 100%. My biggest failure was that we took quite a while to launch ile vizuri kabisa. Even to date, I don't feel like, there's some parts that I look at and I'm like, we can do better. So it still haunts me, slali vizuri usiku. But I'd say we took quite some time to launch, and if I had maybe a lot more resources, it should have been more perfect. Yeah, but it's not a failure. It's just maybe there's something I'm supposed to learn that I've not been exposed to yet. Once upon a time, I was about to become a cleaner. Because I quit before I could even smell the promise of a salary. I was like, I'm not going to do this. I think my mom was it was after Form 4, my mom was desperate for me to do something and just get out of the house. So I enrolled for this program where they were training you to clean, and then after that, they give you a job. They station you somewhere. So me, I was stationed at Sybril Afrika. So me, I was like, if I get my first salary here, my mom will never let me leave. Because her only concern was, I want this kid to have something to do. What I learned from that was, you should not, if you feel like you don't belong in a certain space, don't stay there, because if you get comfortable, you will be stuck in that position. Also, go where your dreams happen. Because I'm an artist. If I stayed there, like, how was I going to feed my own drive? My role model, I don't have one particular role model. I have several idols, all dependent on different things. I look at different personalities and I take what I need to. Like, I have this vision board, and there's 8 people. So there's Obama on that vision board. I have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's a footballer. It has nothing to do with his soccer skills. Everything to do with his drive, his personality, and his attitude, the way he believes in himself, to the point where people interpret that to be arrogance. There's Jennifer Hudson, so many people, but I think the people I look up to in general is anyone who just goes out there, hustles, and gives it their best because they want better for themselves and better for their families and everyone around them. What is unique about my business? So Vangarde Afrika is the premier media company that celebrates the very best in design, culture, and art-forward entertainment. Art-forward entertainment meaning we encourage people to observe the ongoings in our entertainment industry from an educational and an academic perspective. I have 3 permanent, they're not even my employees, they're my partners. And every now and then we pay people to write for us. What do I look for in an employee? What do I look for in a partner? I don't do employees. Wow, you have to be positive. I am allergic to negativity. Like, I'll just kick you out as soon as you came in. You have to be positive and to know that it's possible to be done. Like, we can't afford to not believe in ourselves to the point of being negative, Also, what I look for in employees is positivity. Number 1, you have to be proactive, like not waiting around to be given instructions. Get up and go do it. And then you also have to be a make it happener, like I am. Like, just know that, like, if you're supposed to go do something, if you promise that it's going to be done, please move heaven and earth and just do it. When I'm looking for people to join our team, I usually, you send out a call out poster or something, and then they send you the emails. Normally I go through their portfolios to see what they're doing, see if it's in line with our company's aesthetic, or if you're unique, if it's something that we'd love to work with. I go through their Instagram profiles to see the kind of art they post, the kind of person I'll be dealing with, and then I guess the face-to-face meeting is everything, because you tend to connect with people in a different way on a personal level. So when we meet face-to-face, if the vibe is right, let's go. First of all, I'm not successful yet, but mali nimefika leo, I attribute it to, this is so cliche, but I attribute it to God. Honestly, I do. I am a believer. Like, I'm not, holy, let's go to church every Sunday. I'm actually a big sinner, by the way. But I really feel I pay attention to what life is trying to teach me, because I realized that if you keep ignoring the lesson of the moment, it's going to happen over and over again. It's like you date a guy who cheats, right? and then akuache, and you don't learn. So the next guy you'll end up with is still cheating on you. You'll keep going through the same pain over and over again, simply because you don't want to learn. You don't want to pay attention to the reality of the situation. So lately I've been paying attention to what God has been trying to tell me, what the universe is trying to teach me, what the moment wants me to learn. And it's worked wonders for me, because that way I understand that life is fair. On social media, because ours is an online-based company, but we're planning to expand into not really physical copies. We're not going to do physical copies, but mini copies. Let me call them mini copies. And then because I'm also in uni, we used to do, when I started out, when I began the company, Vangarde was, when I started Vangarde, I was still in uni. So a lot of my classmates knew it, because, and my schoolmates in the School of Arts and Design, they knew it because it was a project of one of their own. So I'd say word of mouth really helped back then, but right now we're a social media business, we're an online business, so that's our main platform of advertising. I've never turned down a client because they approached me, but I've held myself back from approaching certain people who they'd have probably brought a lot of money to my business, or they'd have been great to interview for the masses and things like that, because you have to be in line with the values of the company, number one. Like you legit have to be a different artist. We don't just throw anyone random on the cover. It's like, Anna Winter, she's the editor for Vogue magazine. She says that to be on Vogue has to mean something. Like, you don't just slap some random individuals on the cover. You have to be making meaningful impact in society. You have to, okay, maybe this is a bit personal for me, but a lot of times I get to interview these artists personally, myself, the main guys, the big guys. So I'd say, I have to feel like I've really learned something from you, and that when other people read your story, they'll be touched and they'll be blessed. Also, in terms of potential business partners, if I feel like our interests are not in line, because maybe we can work together, but if our interests are not in line, hatutasaidiana as much as we want to. So it has to be mutual gain, and the interest has to be the same. How best do I network? Compulsory events. I'm an introvert, imagine. So I usually shy away from going to these big events and things like that. But because I also work, by the way, that's something I haven't told you. So there's usually these compulsory office parties. I go for those ones. Sometimes also, when I know a lot of people, if I know 2 or 3 guys, I'll tag along, but it's not so easy for me. So a lot of times, anytime I meet someone that I feel we can help each other, I find out something I can do for them so that we can have a conversation. A piece of advice to someone who's starting out, I'd tell them to start now. Start now, and then don't compare your story to other people's. Don't compare yourself to me. You have no idea where I come from. You don't know if my dad invested 5 million in my business before I began. You don't know if I had to sleep my way to where I am today. You don't know if I had to work 5 jobs a day to get to where I am now. So just start where you are, give it your best shot. Don't compare yourself to others. Cut yourself some slack. You're no one's case study. Don't feel like you have to impress anyone in particular. You're your own individual, and you have the chance to write your own story. So just do your own thing. The universe has your back. Yeah. If you want to do it, just go out there and make your own mistakes. Right? You owe no one perfection. You owe no one a perfect La Revancha story. If you feel because I feel a lot of us, let me speak for myself, for a long time, I held myself back, even from opportunities, because I felt like either I wasn't good enough, I wasn't ready enough, I didn't have what it took, only to see people who don't even, like, who are not, okay, not, let me not say that, people who I might be better than in different ways, proceeding. So Nikona, these limits that you set for yourself are sometimes unrealistic. If you feel like you want to do something, if you want to sing, you don't need to have a voice like Adele's. You don't need to have the best voice in the room. If singing is what your heart wants to do, go out there and sing. We have one life.
Was it the first one or I think the first one. The one that I was like, what are we doing here? You know, not about myself. That's it.